Okay, I'm going to start you off with some review, then we're going to learn something new, okay? A new type of equation to solve. Now, this is what we did yesterday. I'm just going to go over these two examples. These are not what you're doing on your assignment. So we have to get rid of that ugly looking parentheses. So I have times 3, okay? So we write off the side 3 and 3, times and times. And then I see the plus, and I need to times it by 2x, and then by 6. So 3 times 2x, I put x down. 3 times 2 is 6, and then 18. Okay. So I'd line up my plus, and I put 6x, 18. Now you're going to cross out the parentheses in the 3. Okay. Now you've also got minus 2x. You need to put that there. And then on the other side you got 22. Okay, now we don't want to line up that little wall yet because we have two different x's, but they're on the same side of the equals. Okay, so again, I do that adding v. So I'm going to be adding a positive 6 and a negative 2, because remember, when I'm adding, multiplying, if something has a minus in front of it, it goes as a negative. So it's not 6 plus 2, it's 6 plus negative 2. Okay, so I write x down, and that combines in to make 4. Okay, and then we add 18. Okay, now I can solve for x. Okay, x is just on, this is my only x I have, so I highlight the side it's on. So I got times, and plus you want to highlight the times so we know we got to take out the 18. We got to get from 18 to 0, so we move backward 18, or minus 18 on the number line. 22 minus 18 is 4, and then we have 4 times x. Okay, then to solve the times, you divide by 4. 4 divided by 4 is 1. Okay. Alright, next problem, example 2. 5x minus 3, quantity x plus 2. When I say quantity, that means parentheses, equals 18. So my multiplier is not 3, it is negative 3. Because see, up here I add a positive, but if I have a minus in front of it, we really need to write that down as a negative multiplication. Okay, so we got our plus, we're going to have 1x, and then 2. So put x down, negative 3 times 1 is negative 3, and then negative 6. So we line up our equals, we drop down our plus. And we have negative 3x, negative 6. So the parentheses in the negative 3 is gone because I found that I've multiplied that. Now we do have this 5x, so I put a plus 5x, okay, and then 18. Now again, we don't want to make that wall because there's two x variables, two different ones, 5x and negative 3x. Well, if they're on the same side, we combine them by adding. Okay, so 5 plus negative 3 is 2x, and then plus negative 6. Okay. Okay, so we have times 2, and then we have plus negative 6. So I highlight the times, okay. And I need to get the negative 6, take it out, get it to 0, so add 6. And 18 plus 6 is 24. So 2 times x equals 24. So the question is 2 times what number is 24? Well, we're going to divide to figure it out. Okay, 24 divided by 2 is 12. Now we're about to learn a new type of problem. This is kind of the final thing we're going to have going on here with these type of equations. Okay, you can use any letter in an equation. I usually use x because they're easy to see. 4x plus 1 equals 7x minus 5. Well, here's the first thing. You have two different x's, but they go across the equals, okay? They're not on the same side of the equals like they have been in the assignments you've been doing. So, when you have x's on opposite sides, okay, this is the method you follow. Mark one of the x's. It doesn't matter which one, okay? If you want to mark the one here, that's fine, or here. Just do the one I do in the video, but when you're working on your own, it doesn't matter, okay? So let's go 7. This is what to do if they're on opposite sides. Mark one of them. And you need to take that to 0. Okay? Just like you would a normal number. Now it's a positive 7, so to take it to 0, we'd minus 7x. And then that takes it to 0. We're not going to write 0x. Now I go to the other side and find where the x is on the other side, and I minus 7x there. So we line up our equals, and on this side I write x down, and I take 4 minus 7. So it'd be negative 3. Then plus 1, and then over here you have your negative 5. Okay, now it's easy to go. Okay, you have only the negative 3x on the left side, so you got times and plus. So you take out the plus 1, you'd minus 1. So negative 3 times x. Negative 5 minus 1 is negative 6. And then I divide. Okay, divide each side by negative 3. Okay, negative 6 divided by negative 3 is 2. And there's your answer. Okay. Now here's why this is correct. You can just watch this part. Okay. Now look at the starting problem. 4. Don't write this down. Just watch. So 4 times x plus 1. So I'm going to put a 2 in for x. So instead of 4 times x, it's 4 times 2 plus 1. That's 9. Okay. Now 2 is going to go in for x on the other side. Okay, I'm going to take 7, put a times dot. Again, what I started with. So 7 times 2 plus negative 5. 2 goes in for x. Is 9. So I know this problem's right because we ended up with the same number on each side. Okay. All right, next one. 5x minus 2 equals 6x plus 5. Okay. Now, you have two different x's, a 5x and a 6x, but they're across the equals. Okay, so you can't make that v and add them together when they're like that. You mark one of the x's. It doesn't matter. I'll go with the one over here. Mark the one that you're going to take to 0 with an arrow. So to get a positive 5x to 0, you'd minus 5x. Remember, if it doesn't have a sign in front of it, it's positive. Now go to the other side of your equals and minus 5x from 6. Okay. So we have negative 2 on this side. And then x, 6 minus 5 is 1, and then plus 5. All right, now the x is on this side, so we got a times 1, a plus 5. Times 1 might not seem like a big deal, but I'll mark it, okay? So get rid of your plus 5 now. Now, with the x's, you can pick whatever one you want, but when you're dealing with the non-x numbers, you have to get rid of the one, take out the one that's on the x side, okay? So you don't just get to decide whichever one you want with the numbers, with the constants is what they're called. The numbers without x, you have to get rid of the value that's on the same side of the x. Okay, so we got 1 times x. Negative 2 minus 5 is negative 7. If you're at negative 2, you go 5 backwards, you're at negative 7. Okay, now you can divide by 1. Now it's not really going to do anything because a number divided by 1 is just the same number. So x is negative 7. Now if I wanted to check my answer, okay, I'll put times dots. And negative 7 is going to go in for x on my calculator. 5 times negative 7 plus negative 2 equals, so I got negative 37. Then on the other side, we're going to take 6 times, and then negative 7 goes in for x on that side, negative 37. So I have proved that my answer is correct. All right, next problem. 5x plus 7 equals negative 14 plus 8x. So you have two different x's, but unlike yesterday's assignment and a couple days before that, the x's are across the equals, are on opposite sides. So pick one of them, okay? I'll just do every other one. So let's get a positive 8x to 0, so we minus 8x. And I go over here and minus 8x under the 5x. Got to be under the x. X's go with x's, okay? Constants, which are called numbers not with x, those go together as well. But first we got to simplify it so it's down to 1x. So I go x. 5 minus 8 is negative 3, and then plus 7. And over here you got negative 14. All right, now we have x on this side. Now you don't, highlight your multiplication. You have to get the 7. You can't pick and choose what number you take out when you get down to this part. That's only with the x's on opposite sides. So I minus 7, minus 7. So you have negative 3 times x. And then negative 14 minus 7 is negative 21. So we have times, so we're going to divide by negative 3. It's positive 7, okay? So again, if you want to prove that that's correct, you don't have to. But if you want to prove that this is correct, I'm going to go 5 times x, so I'm going to take out x and put 7 in, plus 7, and I got 42. Now hopefully the other side's 42. So I've got negative 14 plus 8 times x, but 7 goes in for x, so it's times 7. I got 42, so I know I did it right. Okay, next one, negative 2 plus 5x equals 4x plus 2. So again, we have two different x's, 5x and 4x, okay? So when they're across the equals, you mark one of them. It doesn't matter which one, and take one of them out. So I'll mark this one this time. So it says plus positive 5x, we're going to minus 5x, and then we would subtract that from 4x. Okay, so negative 2. Okay, and I write x down, 4 minus 5 is negative 1, and then plus 2. So now we're working over here. So I got times and plus, so I highlight the times so I know what number to take out. It'd be the 2 right there. Okay, this isn't 0. If you're at think of it, if you're at negative 2 on a number line, you're moving backwards. So negative 3, negative 4. And negative 1 times x. Okay, so it's times, I need to divide. Okay, negative 4 divided by negative 1 is 4. Okay, now again, if you want to check your answer, I put a times dot. You don't have to do this. Negative 2 plus 5 times, and then my 4 goes in for x. So that's going to be 18. Hopefully the other side's 18. Okay, it's 4 times x plus 2. So I take 4 times 4 plus 2. I got 18 over there as well. Okay, so I know that that's my correct answer. Okay, now I've shown you how you can check it. I'll just kind of boat race my way through the next group. Okay, again, you got x's on opposite sides. So we have a 4, positive 4, and a positive 7. Doesn't matter which one you get to 0, okay, but you have to take one of them to 0. I'll take the 7x to 0. Remember, I can pick which x when they're on opposite sides like that. So I put x, 4 minus 7 is negative 3, and then minus 3. And then negative 9. So now we're operating from this side. That's a times. I don't like minuses, make it plus negative. So to take a negative 3 to 0, you're going to plus 3, because you move 3 forward on that number line. Then negative 9 plus 3 is negative 6. So now we have times, so we're going to divide, okay, by negative 3. Okay, negative 6 divided by negative 3 is 2. 6 divided by 3 is 2, and a negative divided by negative is always a positive. Okay, 3 plus 5x equals 8x plus 3. Okay, so solving for x. So I pick one of the x's to get rid of, okay. I'll pick this one again. There's no reason why, I'm just picking it. Now remember, it's got a plus. If it doesn't have a sign, it's a positive, so to take it to 0, we minus. Then from the x, got to be under the x. So I'm going to write, I like to write x down first, that's just me. 5 minus 8 would be negative 3. Now we have to add this 3 that was right here. And then over here we got 3. So it looks like 3's are wild. Times and plus, highlight the times, okay. So we have to get that plus, take out the positive 3, so minus 3. Now 3 minus 3 is 0. If you're at 3 on a number line, you go backward 3, you're at 0. Now just because I get a 0, I don't freak out. I continue the process. I divide by -3. 0 divided by any number is 0. Now if I'm not sure about that, remember what I can do, okay? 3 plus 5 times x. Well, we're going to put 0 goes in for x. 3 plus 5 times 0. So it's going to be 3 on that side. And over here we'll do 8 times 0 plus 3. I got the same number, didn't I? So that must be right. Okay. All right, now you want to watch out. You have two x's, okay? You have a 3x and a 1x, okay? Remember, that's a -3 and a -1, okay? So I don't care which one we take to 0. I'll go with the -3, okay? So we're going to plus 3x. And then we plus 3x to the -1. So you got 8. Now the x goes on this side. So if you're at -1 and you move forward 3, you're going to be at +2 and then the 14. Okay, so we're operating from this side. We got times 2 and plus 14. So we got to take out the 14. Now I don't get to choose what number I get rid of. It's got to be that number. So 8 minus 14 is -6, and then we got 2 times x. So 5 times, I'm going to divide. Okay, so you can put your x, -6 divided by 2 is -3. Okay. All right, last problem. I see two x's. Again, we're not doing the adding because today on this assignment they're across the equals. Okay, they're not on one side of the equals. Okay, so I pick one of these. Okay, I'll go with the one over here. Remember, it's a 1 and a minus means it's a negative. Okay, so let's add that. Because we want to get that to 0, so I'd plus 1x. So it's going to be x, that's going to be 13, and then -4, and then 9. So the operations are going on over here. So you have to take the -4 out by adding 4. That takes me to 13. 13, and then divide by 13. And 13 divided by 13, it's not 0. A number divided by itself is 1. Okay.